Hi everyone and welcome to DIY Ideas. So today I'm showing you how you can do a laptop bag without a zipper. So as you can see, we have this little button to close it up, and you can see on the inside it even has an inside layer, so it's keeping your laptop safe. And yeah, you can of course do this for many different things. You can do this for a notebook or maybe for a journal, but I just thought I might need something for a laptop, so this is why I chose this size. You can of course adjust the size according to the size of the object you want to put inside, but this is really great for tablets, maybe some other gadgets you might have lying around and that could use some protection. So let's get started right away. Okay, so you're gonna need some clothespins, then of course some fabric scissors, some different colored thread, and of course the fabric that you're gonna use. So I'm gonna do a middle layer to keep it a little bit thicker than usual. So that's this wool-like fabric, and then the inside and outside fabric of your choice. You can see here what kind I picked. So for the outside, I do recommend something a little bit sturdier, so faux leather or something like that might work really well. And yeah, this is pretty much it as far as the fabric goes. You have a lot of room to play with and decide what kinds you would like to use. So yeah, then we're gonna need a button and a rope, like anything that you want to use so that you can close your bag up. So yeah, you can see here the kind that I have. Of course, you can do pretty much anything else, and this is all that you're gonna need. So the size is of course up to you. I'm gonna measure my laptop, so that's the size I'm gonna do, but of course depending on the size of the object, as I said, that you're gonna use, you might need a little bit bigger or smaller version. So let's get started. Okay you guys, so here is my laptop, and I'm gonna start right away with the inside fabric. So I already cut this out, but I'm gonna show you what I did when I did that. So I'm gonna fold this in half, pretty side on pretty side. So let me just get the laptop a little bit out of view, and then yeah, so we're gonna fold this in half, and then we're gonna put the laptop on here. And from each side we want about 3 centimeters or a bit over an inch all over, so bigger than the laptop itself for all the 4 sides. That way we're gonna have a little bit more room for the stitches. So this basically means that the width and the length of your laptop are gonna be exceeded by 6 centimeters. So you can even calculate it that way if you'd like. So yeah, we're gonna do that doubled for the width, and for the height, we're just gonna do the size plus 6 centimeters. So the width of your laptop plus 6 centimeters times 2 is the width, and then the length is going to be, or the other way around, whichever you want to use. But yeah, you're going to have just the length or the height of your laptop plus the 6 centimeters here. So that's going to be your inside piece, and this is how big I want it. And of course the same size is going to be for this middle layer that's going to keep it a little bit thicker. So you can see here what I have. It's kind of this like wool-like fabric, but you can of course use pretty much whatever you want or have. There is thicker and thinner types of this fabric as well, and you can always order it online. So yeah, it's easy to find. So yeah, it should be exactly the same size as the inside fabric too. So this is the easy part. You basically just do the same thing 2 times. As far as the outside fabric goes, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So the width here plus the 6 centimeters is going to be the width, and then the height is again going to be the height of the laptop or the object plus 6 centimeters. So yeah, this time we're going to do plus 12 centimeters on top instead of just plus 6, so that we have enough room for the button piece. So I'll show you by aligning actually the inside and the outside. So basically you want 3 centimeters more than the inside and the middle layer of fabric. Okay, so let's start with the inside right away. So we're gonna take this and unfold it completely. You can iron over it if you'd like, but I don't think this is necessary this time. So depending on the type of fabric you're using, if it's really wrinkly, you might want to prep it a little bit like that. So what I'm doing now is just neatly aligning this middle fabric that's supposed to thicken the whole thing and the inside fabric. And then all we're gonna do is just do a regular straight stitch across here to keep everything in place and so that it doesn't keep slipping as we continue with the project. So just start from a corner and go sideways and downwards or upwards. And that's pretty much all that you're gonna need. So just all around. Okay, so now that we got one piece out of the two elements, we can continue with the next step. So what we're gonna do is take this piece that we just worked on and put it pretty side on pretty side. Again, we do want to align this neatly, so check if the corners are looking good. So now depending on where your pattern is pointed towards, so if your pattern has a direction, then you want the top of the fabric. If not, this doesn't really matter. But yeah, all you want to do is connect this side here and the bottom as well. So this is why you need to decide what is going to be your top and what is going to be your bottom with the inside. So we're just doing basically this side piece right here, so a regular straight stitch there and continued onto the bottom as well. Also, you want this new stitch to go kind of over the stitch that you just already did, just so you can hide it a little bit better. So yeah, you can see here, if you take a look how close I am to the very edge of the fabric. And what I want to do is 1 centimeter away, and I just want to do a regular straight stitch across there. Okay, so now that we did this, you should have these two pieces done. So this is just one piece this time after we've done it, and then the outside fabric comes into play. So what we want to do is basically check if the laptop fits inside or the object that you're using. So before you continue with anything, you do want to check if everything is good. If not, you can just simply unstitch it and redo it so that it fits the size. But yeah, my laptop is actually pretty nicely fitting inside, but if you have a little bit too big of a bag, you can always just kind of do an extra stitch on the side to prevent that, or to prevent any slipping from the inside and moving around. So we do want this tightly around our laptop or book or tablet. So yeah, just adjust if you need to. And then what we want to do is the outside fabric that we also stitched up the same way. And what we want to do now is just do everything inside out kind of. So we're going to turn this so that the pretty side is on the outside. And then what we want to do is push the outside fabric into this inside and middle fabric that are just the one piece. I'll show you in a second. There we go. So we're going to push this to the inside, and I know it's counterintuitive, but we're going to turn it out inside out later, so you're going to see why we're doing it this way. And what you want to do is just take the corner and make sure that they are aligned, because if the corners are aligned, then you have everything else in place as well. Also, if this is kind of confusing, a way how you can check if you're doing the right thing the right way around, you can just look if it's pretty side on pretty side. So if the pretty sides of the fabrics are touching basically, and then you know you're all good. So now that we do have this inside, you have to also think about the length. So we do have a little bit longer piece with this outside fabric. It's a little bit longer by these 3 centimeters we did, but nevertheless, we're gonna align the stitches here on the side. I'm gonna pin them with clothespins to keep them all in place, and then I'm just gonna stitch over these after I'm done. So again, we're going to do a regular straight stitch across this here. And then, of course, we're going to need a little opening so that we can turn it inside out later. That way, we're going to have everything in the right direction, or looking to the outside as it should be. And now through that little opening we left, we're going to turn everything inside out. Take your time because you might rip some stitches if you're too fast, but the bigger your opening is, of course, the easier this is going to be. Okay, so you can see now that I kind of pushed everything to the inside, but not all the way. And you can see here on the bottom, it's not all the way to the very corner. So I'm aligning the top here instead of the bottom. And what I want to do now is kind of close up this opening that we have. So you can do this by hand or with a sewing machine. And I think I'm going to use the sewing machine just so I'm a little bit quicker. So I'm just aligning everything, pinning, and then I'm going to close it up. So also, I'm not just gonna go over the opening itself because that way the stitch would be very visible. So I'm gonna go all over this very edge. That way we're gonna have it a little bit neater and a little bit flatter, and everything is gonna stay in place basically. So it just makes it a little bit less puffy and looking a little bit nicer. You don't have the wrinkling parts or anything kind of moving in a weird way. So yeah, I do recommend doing this, although it is optional. So as I said, just all around, including the opening that we can then at the same time close up. Okay, so now we're almost done, and you can see here that we have, the outside, of course, with the inside done. And what you can notice if you push your laptop or book or tablet inside, that we still have a little bit more room than we might logically need for now, but I'm going to show you how you can use that for the laptop. So definitely just push it to the inside so that you have basically the corners aligning here on the bottom, and then here on top you're gonna kind of have a little bit more fabric left over, and you do want that, so we're gonna iron over it. Okay, so what I did instead of ironing is I just pinned this so that I keep it in place. So I have a little bit more, that extra fabric, the little bit more fabric that we have is here on top now. And you can now see that the laptop or book is starting here instead of at the very top. And now what we want to do is our little button and the rope or elastic band or whatever you decided to choose to go with it. Also, another alternative that's not a button and a band type, you can do here a Velcro on top, just glue it or sew it on the inside and then have it closed that way. But this time I do want to show you how you can do it with a little button that you can also use, so you can pick the buttons that you would like to use with the band, of course. So now we're gonna kind of stitch over this section, so just like on the inside, to keep everything in place and make sure that it doesn't slip later. Okay, so now we're almost done, and what we want to do is do the button. So before we do that, we actually want to just give it another shot with the laptop or your tablet or book or whatever you're using. So we're going to push it to the inside. Then when you kind of mock close it up, you can just check where you want your button to go. So just make sure it's on the inside so that you can see what fits best for your object. So I'm just kind of folding and looking. You can of course tuck it in like this, so just like I'm doing. That's one way to do it, and then just decide where or see where your ending is. You can also just fold it over like this, so that's another option. And then you can just put a band here on top and a button where you want it. And yeah, it's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna do it with you, of course. You can also choose the button that you want to have that fits or matches your outside fabric, so you can even have a little bit extra style with that as well. So I am marking where I want my button. So I'm just folding it, and then I'm looking at where my button is going to be, of course. So I already marked where I want it, but you can do it closer or further away depending on what you personally find the prettiest. So in my case, you can see the mark already, and now what I want to do is just do the band. So I'm going to turn it the other way around. I'm going to find the middle, so where my button is. So what I want to do is just align it so that I have this little loop-like ending here. And I'm gonna just stitch it over, so you can do it by hand or with the machine. So yeah, I also marked it already, but you are gonna have to mark your own where you want it to stop or where you want the stitch to be. And then when you do that, you can just check if the size fits, if the button is in the right place, as you can see. And as I already said, I already marked mine, but take your time and decide what looks and works best for your piece. So yeah, what you want to do is have just a tiny bit of tension, so not too much, but also not too little, because you do want this to be held nicely closed so that it doesn't open up by itself. Okay, you guys, so you can see that I finished this. So I have the button here, and on the back I did the band, and my bag is already done. So this is just a very easy mechanism that you can use if you have a too long band like I do. So you can see I kind of twisted it around the button, and it actually works even better than if I just put it over the button. So I'll show you the back as well. You can see here I kind of shortened the leftover band that I didn't need, and I just stitched over it to keep it all in place. So mine is a little bit thicker, of course, because I did use a middle fabric to kind of make it a little bit more fluffy, a little bit thicker, and that way protect my laptop a little bit better. But you can do this even thicker or thinner than I did. So that is completely up to you. And yeah, the thicker you do it, of course, the more protected your laptop or tablet is gonna be. And yeah, you can do all kinds of different things with this. So you can do, as I said, a Velcro opening, even a zipper one if you want a little bit more complicated project, or if you're a beginner. I just decided to do the very easiest way to get great results still and have a very usable bag. So this is why I used the button and the band technique or method, but you can of course do this any way you like. So this can also look very differently. You can make this even out of a pair of old jeans or something, so there's a lot of room to work with. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to shoot a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also let us know in the comment section what you think and what you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching DIY Ideas. I hope you guys had fun, and I can't wait to see you in one of our next videos. So until then, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye!